Hello, boys and girls. Lord Hawkeye here again. Well, minor update on the whole HST debacle going on in my province. Yes, that's still raging on these days. They've recently sent out their referendum vote sheets to vote on the matter. Yes, I threw mine out because, like hell, I'm going to give them any bright ideas that I actually approve of this whole fiasco. And just to give you an idea of how absurd the whole thing is, the vote is stated to whether or not to scrap the HST, the harmonized sales tax. Well, guess what? Even if we did scrap it, they're going to just put in the PST instead. So, bottom line, we're being given the choice of 10% tax increase or 12% tax increase. Oh, what generous, benevolent masters we have. Unbelievable. And people still try to defend this nonsense. I do not know why. Oh yeah, yes I do, because education told them to. Anyways, yeah, that's just how absurd this has gotten. They don't even try to hide the fact that it's complete theft. There was someone who was talking with me on one of my videos about this. Still trying to make the excuse that taxation isn't theft because it's spent on helping people. To people who try to make this argument, I invite you to look at the definition of theft. Look at the legal definition if you so desire. It says, theft is the unlawful removal of property with the intention of depriving the owner of his property. It does not say one single word about what you intend to do with said property. Not one. Meaning, what you do with said property does not matter at all. It makes not one whit of difference. So, that's not an argument for why it's not theft. If you want to argue that it's not theft, show that it is not the enforceful removal of property. And that's going to be a bit of a hard sell for you. Yes, indeed. But if you don't want to go with that line of reasoning, here's another for you. It's a little test I call if they truly believed. As I've said before, people say lots of things. It's what people do where you can really get the truth out of them. In this case, people say taxes are necessary, taxes are good, taxes help people, and so on and so forth. But does their behavior tell a different story, I wonder? What do I mean by that? Well, pardon me. Well, let's see. They believe taxes help people, taxes help the economy, taxes help the less fortunate, and so on and so forth. And yet, when these people want to make charitable donations, who do they give it to? Do they send it to the government? No, they send it to private charities. May I ask why? I'd really like to know about that. And heck, there's a lot of people in the paper who are trying to defend them taxes like the HST, saying it's necessary, it'll help, it'll do all this great, wonderful stuff. I have a question for these people. I'd really like to know this. If you really believe that, if you truly and honestly to the bottom of your heart believe that taxes help, believe that taxes are good, taxes are moral, why wait for the tax increase? Why wait for it at all? Really? If you really believe the government is the best way to help less fortunate, help the underprivileged, help boost the economy, whatever you think they do that's good and moral, why wait for a tax increase? Why not on your next taxes send them a little extra? Or heck, why wait till then? Why not just cut them a check right now as a donation to their worthy cause? Why not do that? I challenge anyone to give me one logical reason why you would not do this. I mean, come on. If what you say is true and you truly believe it, then giving more money to the government can only help. So, how come you're only giving the bare minimum? Don't you care? Don't you want to help people at all costs? Don't you think it's good and moral and important? Yeah, I'd love to hear some answers to this. I'd love to hear some answers to this question. I'm probably just going to grit my teeth through more excuses as always, but hey, I dare to dream, as I've said before. Anyway, not a whole lot of questions this week, but that's just something to think about. Along with can say the same thing about religious people, how They say they think the Bible is the word of an almighty, all-right God, and yet they all cherry-pick it. Why? If you really believe that, you wouldn't cherry-pick it. You would follow your holy book down to the very last letter. And yet there is not one religious person in the entire world who does that. There's no one who even makes so much as an attempt at it. So that's the sign that on some level they know that they know they're believing complete nonsense. But for some reason or another, they don't want to admit that and get to finding the real truth. Maybe it's fear of rejection, maybe it's personal pressure, maybe it's fear of shattering your poor ego. I don't know. You'd have to tell me that. But anyway, that's my little random thought for the day. Not a whole lot of questions this time. But yeah, keep the questions coming. I always love those. Until next time, be aware and be wise. Oh yes, and by the way, that's me building a bigger castle. You'll be seeing more of it. You'll be seeing more of it in time. Until next time, have fun.